I remember something going very slowly as my fingers were being twisted and turned, and I could hear bones cracking and ripping sound, which seemed to take forever, but in realistic it just happened in a matter of a second or two. We started, in February, pouring this epoxy grout. That day we had mixed 35 batches of the epoxy grout, and we were just finishing. It's been a long time we've been doing it. It's got to be routine. What I had just done is clean the mixer that we mix the grout in, and everybody else had just left the shack. And I was the last one to leave. We were just putting all the stuff in to clean the mixer out. And then that's when I noticed the drill sitting there on the bottom of the bucket. As I was leaving the grout shack, I was just going to reach over and pick it up and hang it on the end of the shelf. And that's when it happened.
I heard a drill and a little bit of grunting. So as soon as I passed the door, I saw my co-worker Al with his hand caught on the drill and the S-hook. So I helped him take his hand off the S-hook. He lifted his hand and I saw that his finger was bent backward. So that's where I ran right away for emergency.
Gabe came out of the shack and indicated something was wrong. And then my father started, I could start hearing him yelling.
I remember my son Matt coming into the shack.
I ran into the shack and he was distraught and holding his hand. So didn't know what was wrong, tried to ask him, wasn't really getting an answer at first, and I could clearly see something was wrong with his hand.
There was some people that came and helped. I remember people coming and going, not a lot.
I met Gabe awaiting the ambulance outside. They'd already been in their spots waiting for the EMTs to arrive. And he very quickly said that Al had been injured. And I said, "Where is he?" He pointed towards the hoarding. I immediately headed up. I visually seen Matt, because that was one of the things going through my mind immediately, as I know his son worked side by side with him. So I knew if it was something traumatic, it would be also something very traumatic for his son to be experiencing. So then I immediately went inside the hoarding. Al was not in a good state. Severe hand injury is what it looked like from what I could see. So I immediately went to his side. He was pretty upset. In order to try and control the situation was to calm him down, was my immediate response. So
my foreman came and spoke to me very softly and tried to get me calmed down, which she did very well.
For me to be able to calm him down, I got right close to him, got right in beside him.
My other foreman, I remember being behind me, holding me up, kind of making me lean back a little bit while I was sitting.
I just stayed right close. He started to get a little bit anxious at a couple different points, so I just put cheek to cheek to calm him down and spoke very quietly in his ear.
She was able to calm him down and get him under control again, which helped calm me down a little bit too, of course.
Let him know that we were there, we're helping him. He was going to be okay. It wasn't a good situation now, but it was going to be okay. There was people coming to help him.
What's your name? Al, let me take a look. What happened here? Oh, it hurt bad. Okay, yeah. Okay, hang on 1 second. We're going to do something for that. Pair of scissors I do. Yeah.
I've never seen my dad in that kind of pain before. Never. I mean, he hurts himself. He doesn't say much at all. So it was shocking. I had to step back and get away from it. It was very upsetting.
They brought him in to see me while I was at the clinic, and I remember telling him to go back to work, that I was fine, because I didn't want him worrying about me any more than he already was.
While we were at the EMS, they said that there was a possibility he could lose his finger. They weren't sure until he could see somebody that specialized in hands and so on and so forth. And at that point, time was critical, and that they were going to take him down to Fort Mac Hospital to be assessed and then sent where he needed to go from there.
Yeah, it's been 5 weeks since it's happened, and this is what my hand looks like. You can still see they're swollen a little bit, but they're starting to move, and which is really good to me. I'm really happy with what's happening so far.
He is positive. He's very positive. He's very... sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, he's very positive. He's also going to be very dedicated to making sure he gets full use of his hand back. You know, everything he seems to do is with his hands, so it's very important for him to enjoy his hobbies and everything else, to be able to use his hands. So, you know, he's going to go to therapy and physiotherapy and continue doing it until he can use them fully.
Okay, this finger here that was laying on the top of my hand right here when I first looked at it. This finger here was dislocated at this knuckle, and it was ripped open from here to over to the other side. There was just a bit of skin left on this side to hold it together. And this knuckle was dislocated here, and this one was dislocated here. One of the things that kept running through my mind going to Fort Mac is I'm an avid woodworker, and all I could think is my hobby at home was done. I felt that I'd buggered my hand up enough that I wouldn't be able to do my fun thing that I really enjoyed doing at home. And that kept running through my mind the whole way into Fort Mac to emerge.
It really makes you realize that the longer you are on a job site or doing a task, whether you're at home or at work, you do become complacent no matter what, and you might not think about that one thing that you missed.
I've worked with hand tools my entire life, since I've been 16, and now I'm 57 years old. I have never had an injury from a hand tool in my life other than a little scrapes or little cuts.
Getting checked that, okay, I might have done this many times, but something can go wrong. So let's make sure that I have all of my boxes checked and I'm going to be okay, and everyone around me will be.
It just blew me away how easy and how quickly this actually happened to me. It can be life-changing, and I am got more caution than I ever have had with hand tools because of it. I've never ever thought of taking a battery out of a drill. I've always unplugged my electrical drills and stuff. I've got 4 cordless drills at home that I use all the time. I've never ever taken a battery out. I do now.